Hey, it's Will of willsgarden.com, and in this video we're going to go over how we decide to upgrade our water system. We were using the last one for 9 years, but it turns out we needed even more water for my wife's large garden, and silly her, she thought we should still have access to our side window. So that meant stacking 2 on one side and 2 on the other. In this video, we're going to go over how exactly we did that using kits that we sell, made to install wicked easy, only takes about a half hour. So we are painting the totes right now, aluminum colored Rust-Oleum. I've got a video on why you should do aluminum colored. Check that one out. But so we're just painting them. What we did was we took some sandpaper, gave it a quick scuff just to give it a little bit of more texture. We cut the aluminum colored Rust-Oleum with a little bit of acetone just to make it etch into the plastic a tiny bit, and we're using a 3-inch brush and just working it in behind the bars. I've tried pulling the cages out to paint the bladders, however the headache there is putting them back in. You end up scratching them anyways, so you can just work behind with this. Only put about a 1/4 inch of paint on the brush at any given time. It will work its way down like it has on this one, as you can see. And just, you know, just add a tiny bit. Working around. Make sure to keep stirring the paint can. It does like to separate. The metal flake does settle out. You're going to need to do a couple coats though. Here's one I did. You can see it just has a lot of holidays. Second coat really does a great job. I paint them in about 15 minutes each, so it's a quick process. Okay, so we've got the 4 IBC totes in place. We went ahead and leveled them all out. Relatively good. Not too obsessed with it, but want to also make sure they can't rock back and forth. All our totes are NTP thread totes, which is needed for these kits. And they all come with the 6-inch cap, which we have removed because the kits all come with new caps. And we're going to go ahead and double stack the IBC totes now. We're going to tip this tote back on its back, and we're just going to install the bottom of the higher flow double stack kit. Once it bottoms out, twist it back, get it so it's straight up and down. Now you can set it down. Okay, so all I'm doing is, while this tank's empty, is I'm just going to go ahead, lift it up, and install this. It is a little easier if you've got a helper. Mine's unfortunately working a video camera right now. And then we just can go ahead and set it down. If you want, you can undo the tape. Now, this is your breathe tube, your snorkel tube. I'm just undoing it now. You can do it while it's down. It's not a big deal. So all we're going to do is sneak the hose up the back side here. Make sure that you don't kink it like I just did. You know, you want this garden hose breathing. And bring it up to the top as neatly as you can, and you're good to go. So we're just going to take the top piece to the higher flow double stack kit, thread it on. Once it bottoms out, we're just going to back off a little bit so that it's heading straight up and down. Just untwist the blue tubing from the bottom unit. It's going to be a little bit too long, especially if you've got a 275-gallon tote. So all you're going to do is pull it taut, measure out the top right here where it looks like it's a big bolt head, and just take a pair of scissors and cut it. Now that we've got it cut, we're just going to take the hose, open it up, slide it up over the nipple. And we're going to take the hose clamp and slide it up right on there and tighten it down so that you got a nice straight section here. Okay, so this is our standard flow kit double stack, and what I'm going to do is, once again, just lift this tote, hinge it back, try Gotta do this left-handed. Make sure it's on nice. And get it snug. And down it goes. So we're just going to undo this side. Untape it, nice and easy. And pull it out the front. And just leave it hanging there for the moment. And then the snorkel we're just going to undo. We're just going to do it like we did the other one. Run it up the back once it's undone. Make sure it's not kinked. Don't need to show you that again. This one's the snorkel going up the back end. This is our garden hose adapter. We're going to go ahead and thread it on. And we're going to double check that the washer's in there, the rubber washer. There is a spare that comes with it if needed. And we're just going to go ahead and thread this on. Nice and finger tight. Open this valve. This valve's already open. So this is the vent kit we're putting on the center ones. Since we're making a big tank, we're going to need these. And we're just going to go ahead and screw them on, get them nice and tight. And then we're going to undo the tape and run it up the side of our double stacks. And we're going to do this to both sides, up the one they're closest to. Cut. So the bottom two center that we're just using the linking kit, the side-by-side linking kit on, we're just going to go ahead and goop that up again just because, and throw on both of them the hose adapters. So this is the bottom section of the plug-and-play system. We're going to take out the male cam lock adapter and we're just going to screw it onto the tote. Yes, this is just a lot of screwing stuff onto totes. If you haven't figured that out by this part of the video, just snug it down. Then we're going to take our cam lock, we're going to do the YMCA, arms up, we're going to put it on, we're going to pull it back, and there's these little clips you can stick into the holes to lock it on if you feel the need. Okay, so we're taking the hose from the side-by-side kit. Just double check that both washers are in there. It does come with a spare in case you need it. We're going to thread one end on to the high flow double stack kit, and then we're going to thread the other side onto the side-by-side kit and do the next one, all the way down to the plug-and-play system. Okay, so we're going to hook up our pump. This one's actually used, it's from our old water system, but nothing wrong with it, so we're just going to reuse it. We took off the old fittings. This is what we refer to lovingly as the unicorn horn. It goes into your input, it sticks out like a unicorn horn. We're going to take our Blue Monster. Yeah, they're not paying me to tell you to keep using this stuff. We're going to goop up the thread slightly, goop up inside, and then we're actually going to take some Teflon tape and put that on top of the threads like you would with the Blue Monster underneath. And then we're going to put a little bit more on top. Really got to get this nice and sealed. The motor does vibrate a little bit. It works well, but you do got to goop it up a good bit. And then we're just going to go ahead and thread this in. Just tightening it down, you're going to see the goops coming out. We're just going to do it by hand for right now. Once we get the system pressurized, we're going to check for leaks. We'll have to tighten it down and adjust it, but get it nice and snug for right now. So, after hooking up the unicorn horn, we went in ahead and put on the out spigot. Same exact thing. goop it up a little bit, use some tape, goop it again, put it on, get it nice and tight by hand if we have to. Later we'll adjust with a wrench. Then we're just going to take the union and seal it on up. Just hook it on up. First you got to square it up. Do better than I'm doing right now. Square it on up, get it all nice and level. You can bend stuff a tiny bit, and because there is a little flex in the black line, hand tight that. Make sure the O-ring seals nice and tight. Now you're all hooked up, ready to rock and roll. Okay, so we are reusing what we did last time, except we cut it up higher, and we're just using the accordion pieces for the downspouts. Link in the description, 2 of them. So this is the old downspout part that we just cut out. That would have been right there where you can see the wall going down. And then we use a painter's bag, also in the description for an Amazon link. They do a nice job of filtering stuff out. Some people will argue about first flush and everything. We're just using it in a garden, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so everything's hooked up. The wire's going to come down through the top tank, work its way down. Because the water's going to all level out as one, everything's going to fill up and equal out. As the water fills up, because there's snorkels, it's going to work all the air out, so these center tanks don't pressurize and just only fill halfway. I've got another video on that subject matter. The snorkels will actually fill with water and act like more of the center tanks. All these bottom tanks will fill, and then the top tanks will fill, and then everything can drain through the pump system as one tank. If you got any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments. Thanks. Talk to you soon. This is our 9-year-old system. It needs some maintenance, leveling out again, and we also want to go from the 4 tanks and make it into a 6-tank system. Our large garden just needs more water storage. And we want to go from having the hard pipe manifold over to the plug-and-play systems, because it's easier to take it apart to do maintenance and stuff like that, which will make our lives a lot easier